Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. Yeah. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
Hey, grand rising to you billionaires. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street as we present to you guys the Money and Power Show. And today is Better Life Tuesday. We will have a special guest here to have the conversations as we move forward in our better life. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, is a study of Black wealth. The book that I wrote is a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. You can begin your study by picking up a book, a simple book to begin your study of the Black Billionaires. You can find that book by simply going to the website, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Again, as we announced to you guys yesterday that showed up, we have about 20 copies left, and those will be the last 20 copies. It will be an exclusive book for the ages. For those that have their copy, you may consider it be mint. And hold on to it as we prepare to write our next book. I just think a little bit different than a lot of people. The work that I do is exclusive. And so those that have a copy, congratulations. Those that might get one of the last 20 copies, congratulations. Those will be the only copies in circulation as we prepare again to work on our 2021 version, which has some updated billionaires that have been added to the club. Today's show is being sponsored by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, which specializes in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. Here at ERGJ Black Bazaar, we're actually doing a rebranding. We will be rebranding to the Black Bazaar pretty soon. But we do have, quite some cool stuff for you to be able to pick up, especially in the personal protective equipment area. That's PPE. We understand where we're at right now in society. We understand that, there's whether you agree or disagree or whatever, it's about protecting yourself. And so we do have a lot of the equipment that you can use to protect yourself from disinfectant to mask to hand sanitizer, all of the above, in order for you to take care of you and you to concern yourself with you. You do the best that you can do for your life, because here's the thing. If we say that Black lives matter, but then we don't even concern ourselves with our own lives when there is disease and plague in the land, then why are we talking about other lives when we might have we have a Black life? Your Black life matters too. Protect it. So anyway, you can find a lot of that stuff here. Again, gloves, masks, all that stuff right here at ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, by simply going to the website, www.theblackbazaar.com, www.theblackbazaar.com. And whether you agree or disagree or whatever, there are people, and there are always people who are actually dying. There are people maybe are connected to that have been affected by this coronavirus in one way or the other. So I beg of you to protect yourself. I beg of you to protect your family, your children. I beg of you to do that. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. And we found quite a few people who were not being safe, and now they're sorry. Well, I don't want you to be in that same position. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. Everybody put that in the comments below. Well, beautiful people, man, I want to see who's here with us here today, here on the Money and Power Show. I got a nice show set up for us here today. We'll finish up this chapter that we were doing in Richest Man of Babylon as we're talking about meeting the goddess of good luck. But at this time, I'd like for you to hit the like button, the share button, the like button, the share button if you care. Also, let us know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country, as you represent this morning. We're broadcasting here across the World Wide Web from our humble studios here in Decatur, where's Greater Georgia. And I'd love to know how far we might be reaching. Use this thing called the internet, doing a live stream across the World Wide Web, which gives the world access to what we do. Love to know where you are connecting from as we find out who's the early birds that have gotten the worm this morning. Grand rising to you, Queen. That's right. Billionaire Hollingsworth is in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. That's right. Queen Billionaire Vivian Reed is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. That's right. Queen Shanrika Billionaire Crawford Benjamin is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. That's right, man. King Carvel, the life of basketball, Billionaire Bailey is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. Man, my main man over YouTube out of Charleston, South Carolina, Loki Slick Saucy, King Billionaire Saucy is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. Now, what's this show all about, guys? Money and power. Is where I've decided to bring up topics that we choose not to talk about, or we've been conditioned not to talk about as much as I think we should. Money being economics, money being cash flow, and power being politics, and power being the rules that have been created to govern the land. I believe we as Black people, or we as people in general, but I specifically talk to Black people, we need to have more conversations about money and the power, so we can have more money and more power. That's what I'm talking about, man. Better safe than sorry, absolutely. Better to be safe than to be sorry. And there's quite a few people, again, who who would not heed, just simply just choose not to. I mean, for whatever reason, whether you don't believe or whatever. At the end of the day, right? You don't want to be that guy or that girl said, well, it's his, conspiracy theory and this and that. And I just don't believe, I just choose not to. And then you find yourself in a position and you like, oh, I guess I should have believed, or I guess I should have just at least, took precautions. Don't be that guy. Okay. Just don't be that guy or girl. Everybody put it on so a better life. Pretty soon, I don't think my guest knew that we came on a little bit early, and I didn't really want to, make him come on early. So whenever he come in, and we'll bring him in as we have his conversation about a better life. And I believe we're going to have some nice conversation here today. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we always get in some good reading, because leaders are readers. And I continue to find, that many of us are stumbling in this particular area of money, simply because we don't read financial stuff. And so, it's my job to provide some resources for those that want to level up. And I realize this: everybody don't want to level up. Let me say this. Many people want to, but many people are not willing to do what's necessary to level up. They want results, but they don't want to change. That doesn't make any sense, right? They want the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but they don't want to do the work that's required to get to the end of the rainbow. Doesn't make any sense. But we can't make sense out of what everybody else does. What we need to make sense of is what we do, what we choose to do. I just happen to be in a position of influence that's been studying people and their habits, especially their money habits, for quite a long time. And I'm at the point in my life where I just simply say what needs to be said, say what other people choose not to say because it needs to be said. So yesterday, if you guys were here with us, we were going through along in The Richest Man in Babylon. Again, this $10 book that helped me go from being a financial zero to a financial hero, that I have been recommending to people get and read for the past 10 years. $10. We'll go do a whole bunch of other stuff with that little bit of money. But to pay $10 and then read a book that can help change the way that we think about money and change the way that we act as it relates to our money, that'll actually help us to get to a place of prosperity, get to a place of money and power. Too much work. Too much work. But nonetheless, we started a book club, and then I said, you know what? I getting people to read. They still want to do that. So I said, I guess I'll just read for you or with you, and maybe that'll help to encourage you to see a black man reading, number one. But then who cares enough to say, hey, you ain't necessarily got to read it. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you got stuff going on in the morning. It's all good. I'm going to read it anyway. Might as well read with you. So this is our time to discuss debate as we pick up in the meeting, the goddess of good luck. So yesterday, in this story, which was written back in 1926, we got to a space where the men in the Temple of Learning that were having this conversation about, man, how can I be favored by the gods? You know, in what capacity? They talk about these different situations where people think of good luck, whether it be at the gaming tables, the racetrack, you know, whether it be just finding some loose change or a wallet or with some money on this corner, all these different coincidences that could happen. And then they got to a place where they start talking about how, you know, there were times in their life where they just simply missed the opportunity or they didn't complete the deal. And that opportunity or good luck passed them by. And it was a very interesting guy that was in this temple with them, because at the temple, it was the Temple of Learning. It was for everybody. It didn't matter whether you were poor or rich. It didn't matter whether you were black or white. It didn't matter whether you spoke whatever, you know, whatever your dialect or whatever you were from or whatever. This was a place where common people could come, right, and have dialogue in order to progress. And I wish we had more of that here today in 2020. But nonetheless, so a Syrian man, you know, jumped up after hearing a first story about how the guy just simply missed out on an opportunity. And he said, man, you know, there's something that you guys call this person, right? Let me go back to the Syrian man. After the man did his conversation, talked about how he missed opportunity, here's what the Syrian man, this is considered to be the stranger, the person who thinks outside the box. There's that one guy who nobody else really wants to listen to, but he really the one that they need to listen to. How many guys been in a situation like that? Been in a group of people. And you got that one person that just thinks a little bit different than everybody else. But and he's the one person that everybody need to be listening to. But it's one person because he thinks different and talks different and says stuff different and doesn't have the same opinion as everybody else. He's the person that ain't listened to, because they want to keep listening to each other saying the same stuff. So Syrian said, hey, thank you. I like to speak also. A stranger from another country arose and said, I am a Syrian. I don't really speak your language well, but I wish to call this friend, the merchant, a name. And maybe you think it not polite, this name. Yet I wish to call him that. But alas, I do not know your word for it. He doesn't say, I don't speak your language, but there's this word that exemplifies this merchant who missed out on the opportunity for prosperity. He said, therefore, please do, good men, gentlemen, tell me the right name you call the man who puts off doing those things that are mighty good for him. In the comments below, I'd like for you to give us the name of that person. What do you call the person who puts off doing those things that are actually good for him? What do you call the person who simply does not do what they know they should do when they should do it? This is a Syrian man coming into that's in the same space with all of these men, all the peers of the land that are in this Temple of Learning, and they're all trying to learn. And he's like, wait a second, I just heard the story. And in my language, we have this particular name for this particular type of person. And I don't know what y'all call it in y'all language, but it's pretty clear to me why you missed out on opportunity. What do you call the person, the man or woman, who puts off doing those things that are mighty good for him to do? They know what to do. They know that they should do it. They simply don't do it, or they put it off. That's right, Miss Vivian. You know what they call that person? The procrastinator. The procrastinator misses out on good luck all the time. They pass over opportunity repeatedly. And then they become the person who now, as they are procrastinator, because that's a good word for them, eventually, if they procrastinate long enough, they develop this victim mentality. Well, no, you keep passing on opportunity. Opportunity keeps coming your way. The God that you serve keeps telling you, I got a plan for you to prosper. Matter of fact, not only did I have the plan, not only did I bring the opportunity across your pathway, I also brought the plan, but you passed over it. Procrastinator. Now, this word procrastinate, it permeates in our society. It permeates among people who simply don't do what they know they should do when they should do it. Now, each and every one of us, we have those moments. We're human. We know what those things are. Matter of fact, there's probably something right now that you know you should have done already. You know you should have done it. You know it was good for you to do for you, but you still haven't done it. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share, because this is a moment of overcoming. This is a moment of breakthrough. Something that you know you should have done already. Something that you know was good for you to do, to complete it, to finish it, whatever. But you still ain't done it. What's that for you? What's that task? What is that thing that you keep putting off, that you know is good for you to do? And you find all these reasons, oh, I'm scared, or I don't know how it's going to turn out, or whatever you want to do, and go, whatever's going on in your mind, because it's a mental war, it's a mental battle. It's something you know you should do. You should have done it. You should have done it a while ago. You also know that it's good for you to do. It's good for you to finish. It's good for you to complete. It's a good thing. It's not terrible. But you still have not done it. It's still on your to-do list. It went from 1 day to 1 week to 1 month, and it's still not done. I'll tell you one thing for me, be honest, my taxes. I know I should have been done my taxes. I don't know why I keep putting it off. I'm going to have to pay another additional fine because I'm past the deadline. Even after they moved the deadline from April to July, I still ain't got it done. But see, I can be honest about my procrastination. What about you? Huh? What about you? See, honesty is the best policy. When you can be honest about it, then you can actually move forward. You ain't got to be shy away from it. Hey, man, this is just something I'm supposed to do. I know I'm supposed to do it. I still ain't got it done, but at least I can be honest about that. I mean, it just ain't get done yet. I don't know why I don't do it. I mean, it's not like it's hard to do. It is probably tedious. I got a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm really just making excuses as to why I ain't got my taxes done. How about you? They call this person in this particular space, for whatever that is for you, the procrastinator. And your procrastination is causing you to miss the goddess of good luck. Then a second person came and had a story very similar. And here's what the Syrian said. He said, thank you, after the brother talked about his story. I'm not going to go over that story again. We did that yesterday. Catch yesterday's video. He said, thank you again. I'd like to speak. The Syrian was upon his feet once more. He said, these stories, they sound the same. Each time, opportunity just flies away for the same reason. Each time she comes to the procrastinator bringing a good plan. Each time you hesitate. You not say that right now is the best time. You don't say I'll do it right now. You don't say let me take care of this real quick. And he asked this question. He said, how can men succeed this way? How can the procrastinator succeed procrastinating? So wise are thy words, my friend, responded the buyer. Good luck fled from procrastination in both these tales. Yet this is not unusual. This is normal stuff. The spirit of procrastination is within all men. We desire riches. We want to get rich. We want to build wealth. Yet, how often when opportunity does appear before us, the spirit of procrastination from within does urge various delays in our acceptance. And listening to it, we do become our own worst enemies. How many guys will be honest and will say, you know what, my procrastination, this spirit of procrastination is actually one of the things that's caused me to be my own worst enemy. And the reason why I like to talk about this stuff, because it's so easy for us to try to point the finger at whoever for whatever that goes on in society. But when we start talking about self, when we start talking about our own character defects or flaws, oh, we get quiet as a church house up in here then, because now we got to actually look at self. I mean, because, to point out somebody else's flaws and talk about why they don't do what they should do and talk about why they don't say the things that they should say or why they don't go where they should go. But then we start saying, well, why you don't do what you're supposed to do? Whatever that is. And the interesting thing is nobody else can tell you what you're supposed to do, but you know what you're supposed to be doing. See, I don't know what, Miss Amanda, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know what you're supposed to get done today. I don't know what's on your to-do list. You know what's on your to-do list. You know what you keep putting off. You know what's supposed to already be done. Miss Vivian, I don't know what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know what's on your to-do list. I don't know what God has called you to do, but you know what you're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to have gotten done. You know what you keep putting off day after day, week after week, month after month. To Mr. Keela Whitaker, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't know what's on your to-do list. I don't know what you've been called to do, but you know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you have putting off. You know what you procrastinated on. You know what you keep putting off day after day, week after week, month after month, saying I'll get to it. You know what you have said no to, or I'll do it later to, or I'll get around to it too. You know the reasons or some of the things that you've missed out on. You know some of the opportunities that you have not been able to take advantage of because of your procrastination. See, when we start having these conversations, like for real, most people, they'll tell you like, procrastination is a big thing for me. You know why it's big? Because you make it big. It's easier to lay around and think about a thing than to actually go do a thing. It's easier to lay around, to think about, to ponder, to have conversations about, to call your friend about, to type about, to get on Facebook about, to troll about, to watch about, to go to the videos about and everything. It's easy to do that stuff because you ain't got to really move than to actually go do the thing and knock it out. Everybody putting down, so knock it out. See, you know what you're supposed to do. You know what's on your to-do list. You know what God wants you to complete today. I don't know. So who am I to tell you, right, that you ain't doing what you're supposed to do? I don't know. God could have told you just to lay here today. That could be what he told you to do. I don't know. But I believe we, each and every one of us, begin to take personal responsibility for what God has told us to do. If each and every one of us does that, we make the world a better place. Because I'm no longer concerned. Now, I am concerned about my brother. Like, Amari, if I see you slipping, or I feel like I see you slipping because you have shown a propensity or shown a character or shown some type of consistency in some area, and I see you slipping, well, yeah, I'm going to point, hey, brother Amari, everything all good? I mean, you ain't the same. Last week, you know what I mean? I'm so used to this and this because this is who you show yourself to be. Making sense to anybody? I see you, brother Dr. Lodge. We'll bring you in just a second. Right? See, he said, in my younger days, I did not know it, but this long word our friend from Syria does enjoy, I did think at first it was my own poor judgment that did cause me loss of many profitable trades. Later, I did credit it to my stubborn disposition. At last, I did recognize it for what it was, a habit of needlessly delaying where action was required. A habit of needlessly delaying where action was required. Action prompt and decisive. Everybody put in the console, time for some action. See, it's 8 o'clock in the morning here at Eastern Standard Time that we're broadcasting live. which tells me most of us got another probably 12 hours before we get ready for bed tonight. 12 hours of action. 12 hours of movement available to you. Some of you guys are going to be 14 hours. Some of you guys are going to be 16 hours. I don't know. You got at least, I know you got at least 12 hours of activity that you could be completing, doing, or whatever. For some of you guys, you need to be working on your website. You're still sitting there waiting on you to do something with it. You got another 12 hours from now to whatever time. But I'm telling you, if you spend that time doing the things that going to cause you to delay, scrolling through Facebook all day, watching TV all day, whatever the case may be, talking on the phone to needless people that ain't helping you get to where you want to be, doing all this stuff, participating in the distractions, you're going to continue to miss out on opportunity. I think it's Roman or Latin. It says carpe diem, seize the day. Seize the day. Today is all you got. You want to meet the goddess good luck? Stop procrastinating. Is that easier said than done? No, it's easier done than said. That's time for some action. Get it done. Do it. The only thing that's stopping you is your mind. The only thing that's causing you to delay is what you keep thinking about. But let me tell you this. Trust me this. Trust me when I tell you this. It's a lot easier to do than you think it is. It's a lot easier for you to do. See, the feeling of completion, that I did what I was supposed to do, that I did what God told me to do today, that I completed the task that he has set out for me, the spirit for me, my Father, my Creator, the God that's in me, whatever. The feeling that I actually finished and I've done and I've exhausted my day. Now it feels good for me to go to sleep. Because I'm not going to sleep because I ain't done nothing. I'm going to sleep because I have done it all that I could do with all that I got. Woo! How I did hate it when its true character stood revealed. With the bitterness of a wild ass hitched to a chariot, I did break loose from this enemy to my success. Procrastination is your enemy. And it's not an enemy that's outside of you. It's the enemy that's within. Procrastination, your procrastination on the things that you know you should do. Not that I know you should do, that you know you should do, is your enemy. And it's causing you to miss the goddess of good luck. Thank you. I'd like to ask a question from Mr. Merchant. The Syrian was speaking. You wear fine robes, not like those of a poor man. You speak like successful man. Tell us, do you listen now when procrastination whispers in your ear? Like our friend the buyer, I also had to recognize and conquer procrastination, responded the merchant. I had to conquer. Everybody put in the console, conquer. I had to conquer this spirit. To me, it proved to be an enemy, ever watching and waiting to thwart my accomplishment. The tale I did relate is but of one of many similar instances I could tell to show how it drove away my opportunity. 'Tis not difficult to conquer once understood. It's not difficult to conquer once you understand it. No man willingly permits the thief to rob his bins of grain, nor does any man willingly permit an enemy to drive away his customers or rob him of his profits. When once I did recognize that such acts as these my enemy was committing, with determination, I conquered him. Once I noticed, once I recognized, once I understood what was going on, with determination, I conquered him. So must every man master his own spirit of procrastination before he can expect to share in the riches, the rich treasures of Babylon. So must every man, every woman master their own spirit. So must every man and every woman master their own spirit. So must every man and every woman master their own spirit. Now that is a job for you and I to do. But it's Better Life Tuesday. It is a better life, man. We got our brother, man. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come on in, Dr. Lodger. I know it's been a while, man. That people ready to hear from the doctor. Man, yeah, give me a thumbs up if you are good to go. All right, man. Let me bring my brother in, man. Better Life Tuesday here today, man. We have some things we want to talk about as well. Bring him on into the stream. Man, good morning, brother, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. How you doing?
I can't hear you.
Hold on.
Okay, there we go. I'm doing good, man. I know it's been a couple weeks, but we back in full effect, man.
Hey,
you know,
right.
we getting in the continue along Richest, man. The goddess of good luck. How's everything going, man? I see. What you got to say, man? What you got to say?
There's a song in the church that said, "Even me, let some drops fall on even me," and I'm sitting here like, good God Almighty. It's good. That's why it's good to have a circle instead of a cage. It's been on social media talking about if your circle don't progress, it's not a circle, it's a cage. And so I appreciate the challenge to keep this procrastination under wraps. You said something really powerful. We're all human. So we all do it in moments, but we all shouldn't be known as a procrastinator. It's a totally different thing when you're known for it. So, brother, it's good. It's good. It's good to see everybody, man. It's good to see you back. Glad you got some rest.
Absolutely, man. Everybody putting console Better Life, man. Tell us a little bit about this, your Better Life movement, man. I'm glad we finally got the website up and running, and that I kept challenging you, saying, man, you gotta get that thing up and going, and he got it up and going. But there's some that might be joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. That what is this Better Life thing about, and why are we calling this day Better Life Tuesday? As we have decided to partner together to use this day to continue to promote the better life for everyone else.
I'm off in the head. I'll be the first one to admit it. So many people are so focused on just money. But I believe that the better life is built on solid finances. So I believe there is a dimension of life that we won't tap into, that we can only dream about if we don't have money together. That doesn't mean that everybody needs to make $2 million a month. That's not what I'm talking about. But I just believe, based upon my study, based upon my own life, when I look back over my own life, my life has been better. 2020 is the best year of my life. Despite Corona, despite everything that 2020 has presented thus far, it's been the best year of my life. Why? Because this is the year that my money has been the best foundation for my life.
That is a powerful statement, man. Let me just kind of rehash what you just said. You just said 2020 has been the best year of my life. Wow. 2020, but then you said some reasons why. And let's talk about this 2020 thing, because I believe you said because it's been the best year for the foundation, but I believe a good word, as we just even read in The Richest Man in Babylon, 2020 is the best year of life because you become a better master.
Mm-hmm.
You become a better master of your domain, so to speak. Obviously, money being a part of that, or your finances being the foundation of that. But talk to me a little bit about some other areas of your life where you become a better master.
Oh my God! So I've gotten so much better at kicking people the hell out of my life, who are leeches, parasites, roadblocks. But that was easier to do because I wasn't keeping them around because I didn't make enough money.
Woo! It's getting hot in here. Wait a second. Because you wasn't keeping them around because of the lack of money. Keep going. Go a little bit further. I got to hear this one.
So I have an ex-fiance. Sorry, that happens. I'm sorry. Woo! I dodged the bullet with that one. Okay, I got two of them. And it was I want you to help me and I help you, but how can I help you if the water is at my nose and the water is over your head? It's kind of hard to help you when I'm in only a slightly better position, you know? But the money was the mask over the other issue. And I believe that sometimes we don't call the issue what it is. I love how you were talking about what do you call the person with these issues? And the truth is, it's a procrastinator. Call it what it is. And so what happened is I was attached with some unhealthy relationships. Folks who would never go any further, which means I can't go any further either with them. And so it became, you're going to choose your future or you're going to choose this little pissy moment now.
Ooh, very interesting.
The choice was, ain't no jury nowhere. You got to hit the road. Well, because not only was money the mask.
Well, hold on a second, brother. Not that you got to hit the road, I got to hit the road. Go ahead. Yeah.
I love how you heard it, because bro, I dipped. You can have everything except my stuff. You can have the apartment. Matter of fact, you ain't got to put a deposit down. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pay the application fee. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it all because God gave me so much favor because I had to go. Most people don't know. I went probably an extra $3,000 in debt to get the hell on.
Oh, let's talk about. Hold on, wait. I gotta hit it, but I really want to capture this moment, man, because I believe that we attract ourselves that which we are, and there are people here, and they got up early in the morning to be here and to tune in for whatever reason. God's brought us all here together for this time and space. For those that are for our audience, I want you to think about time or times in your life or a time in your life where you literally had to go. I got to go. See. I wanted to say that way because a lot of times we talk about getting somebody else out of life when it's really me removing myself from the situation.
Yes,
that I realize or I recognize now is not healthy for me as I might think about my future. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we stay in these unhealthy situations because we're not really thinking about our future. We have the past on our mind.
Yes.
Or the present on our mind.
And the core emotion, watch this, and the core emotion that's going on then is really fear. Because sometimes we get stuck in the what if mode. Fear and faith are the same thing, just different sides. They both believe something's going to happen without evidence. Faith is believing the best without the evidence. Fear is believing the worst without evidence. And when the evidence started showing up, it wasn't faith, brother. It was fear. I'm a purpose-driven person. I can't live in fear. I can't. There's no way possible for me to live in fear. And here I am living in fear. And the reminder is the relationship.
Right. Now this is interesting, guys, because sometimes it's the dynamic of relationship. I love to talk about this as well because it's not always just a romantic relationship. That's easy to identify with, but it could be. It's so many different types of relationships that we've established over the years and over time that can evolve into unhealthy relationships.
Ooh.
You might be in an unhealthy relationship with your job right now, and you got to go.
Got to go.
And you know what I'm saying? You might be in an unhealthy relationship with your church organization right now.
Ooh, been there.
And you got to go.
Got to go.
You might be in an unhealthy relationship with some of these Facebook groups that you're in right now. And you got to go. But the premise or the understanding is it's not that other people have to remove themselves from my life. It's that I must remove myself from those situations, those relationships.
And then you better go figure out, why does this keep happening? One of the things that drives me nuts is I pick up on patterns. And so if you're not aware, you don't see the sign that you are going back into that pattern. If you're not aware, I mean, like really aware. I'm not talking about the little foolish aware we do where we know ourselves. No, you don't, because you can't be by yourself. How you know yourself and you can't be by yourself? That's the reason some of our plans don't work, because we aren't by ourselves. Been there. Whole nother conversation. I ain't going there.
That's what Better Life Tuesday is all about, though. I mean, we just, having real conversations that most people don't want to have. That's okay. We'll be the light for others, man, as we dive into this thing. Now, Doctor, I want to stick on this though, because you said 2020 has been the best year of your life,
hands down.
2020, as you have become a master of your own domain. We mentioned finances was one of the base, right? But then you said there's some other areas. You said finance was the mass. Finance is like the base. That there are other areas that you have become a better master. What else?
I've been better at my own mind. Because once the money worry is off, that's why I said money was the mask. Once you deal with the money situation, now you can see clearly now. You can see clearly now, because now you're not thinking, oh my God, I need you. You're not thinking that anymore. You're not thinking, oh my God, if you don't stay, you're not thinking that anymore. You know? Jacqueline said 12 years ago, I had to go. Yes. It just had to go. My health is better right now because there's less stress in my life. Do you know how good it feels to get up and do what you want? Because you know what you want. I put a post up on Facebook the other day. Many of us don't have what we want because we won't decide. And I decided that I wanted better life.
Did you also at the same time, or previous to deciding that you wanted a better life, did you also have to decide that you was worthy of a better life, that you deserved?
Yeah. And that's why money is a mask, because so many times we're looking at life through the filter of I gotta have it. And you do have to have it, but the challenge is, why do you have to have it? I don't want to be filthy, stinky, hog nasty rich so I can brag that I'm filthy, stinky, hog nasty rich. And I don't want to be rich to cover up for the fact that everything else is wrong, because some people do that too. You know, I've got people to help. I've got things to fund. There are changes I want to see in the world. And as long as I was messed up, that limited my ability to help.
That's interesting because, as we kind of piece together today's show, one of the things we want to talk about was master. I believe we were going to get into this whole dynamic of master or teacher student, something like that. We were going to do. I can't remember that.
No, it was that don't ask an amateur to do what to fill in for a grandmaster or something like that. If you need a tow truck, please don't send me please don't send me a cargo van. If I need a tow truck, like there's a show on the Weather Channel, they have these big rigs, like they're pulling, 10 and 20 ton items. If I need a tow truck like that, please don't send me the little roadside guy in a Hero, because he can't tow me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times I believe we get in trouble. In that moment, I was talking about the people You know, I need somebody here, and I'm steady picking scrubs here.
And some of that reasoning for that is money, or the idea, because money is an idea, right? And because it's an idea, although you may not necessarily physically have it right now for whatever it is that you might really need. Let's just say we're talking the master, right? The grandmaster is going to cost, you know, say $50 an hour, but I only got $20 an hour kind of money right now. The thing about money being an idea is like, man, if I know I need the grandmaster,
right,
then I'm going to figure out a way to come up with the $50 an hour, or I am going to bargain with the grandmaster, be able to offset the cost by doing something else, maybe doing some work for him, maybe becoming an apprentice under him, whatever it can be. In other words, I'm going to begin to use my creativity to offset the money that I don't necessarily have, because my creativity is actually more valuable than the money that I might have in my wallet anyway.
That's why money was a mask. It's not just messing up how I'm looking out, but it's also covering up what's the most valuable. And that's why Better Life Institute exists, because we act like money is the end all be all. And it's not. There are wealthy people who are miserable because they got the money, but everything that is supposed to be built from the money, you know, once the money is together, they were too busy chasing money to build it. As I get older, and I see my folks getting older, I'm not just my parents, but I see everybody getting older, of course. And as I'm getting older, there's this recurring like, okay, it's time to settle down. And so I asked somebody, I said, but why settle down? It's another thing to plant roots, but why settle down? Because you want the grandmaster, but you're going to settle for the amateur. Because sometimes we think that's all we can do. That's all we got. That's our best potential, because we're looking through the mask.
Or sometimes we think that's all we can afford.
Yep.
And here's the thing, man, because this whole dynamic is all about, it really to me is all about who you choose to follow, right? Or, you know, we can say it a lot of different ways. Who's your teacher? Who's your coach? Who's your role model? It's all about who you're following. And in a very similar fashion, it's very interesting because you put that post up, and I had actually been talking about this, I think on Sunday when I did my broadcast, about the student-teacher relationship and how you can be a good student but have a bad teacher and get bad results. Although you're a good student, you're doing everything the teacher told you to do, they're just simply a bad teacher or bad leader. They're leading you down a path that's not really good, but you don't identify that because you're the student.
Right.
And then I said, well, dude, you could be a bad student but have a good teacher and get mediocre results because the teacher is so good. But then when you put that good student with that good teacher, man.
And watch this. That's the difference between addition and subtraction versus multiplication and division. Because when everything comes together, you don't have to. When the good student with the good teacher come together, you can get quantum leaps. But so many of us are mad we don't have the results, but we got to back up to the equation. Well, what was put in? Bad student won't get the great results, or the bad teacher won't get the great results. But when you put that good student with that great teacher together, man, you'll get some results. And that's what's been happening this year for me. The work I have done years ago is manifesting. Because it's a marathon, not a sprint.
The work that you put in, the seeds that you sown years ago are manifesting in a time, quote unquote, a year of pandemic, a year of Corona. But it's not the year of Corona for me. It's the year of economic explosion for me. That's what it is for me. I mean, other people can accept what they want to accept as it relates to the year, or whatever pieces of the year they want to, tag to. But for me, it's the year of economic explosion. I mean, I've had similar to you. I've had my best months, and I've been doing it for a while. You know what I'm saying? And so when I tell people things like, hey, man, millionaires are made during a recession, and then I can show them, man, here's some of the best months. Matter of fact, man, brother, you know, new businesses are being created because of this time that we're going through. It's forcing people to tap into their creative spirit they have been neglecting for some time, because now you absolutely have to. It's been there the whole time.
The whole time.
It's been there. It's been waiting on you to discover yourself that's in yourself the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There's this post that came up that said, your network is your net worth, right? Then it said, follow me and I'll follow you on Instagram. I said to myself, well, if your network is your net worth, if you're a struggling entrepreneur and you follow a struggling entrepreneur and they follow a struggling entrepreneur, y'all all following each other. Ain't that the blind leading the blind? Ain't that the broke leading the broke?
And we all gonna fall into the ditch of brokenness. Yeah.
Why aren't you looking for people? Because this word follow is so valuable. If you're following, why are you not deciding to follow those that can help you get to where you want to get to?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very interesting that this word follow is used in social media. Click the button to follow. Click this button to follow.
Wow.
If you look in your phone, since social media is so relevant in 2020, and you actually click on the search button on your phone, or if you go to Instagram, click on the search button. You know what that search button is going to show you? It's going to show you all the stuff that's relevant to what you choose to follow. And when you go on that, you click on that search button, you just scroll down, you're like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here go Shake Your Booty Girl here. Here go, you know what I'm saying, Rising Star here. Ask yourself, is this magnifying glass that's on my phone?
Woo!
Is it beaming a light down on what I truly value versus what I say I value?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I go to my magnifying glass, I see a whole bunch of rich folk. Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, you know what I'm saying, investment ideas, all this, you know what I'm saying? I see a whole bunch of how to get rich, stuff, memes and stuff like that. I see some motivational stuff when I click on the search button. I click on the magnifying glass that basically is saying, here's what you have liked, here's what you have followed. We're going to give you more of what you like.
Yes. Yes.
I really want the audience to think about that. Your phone and these algorithms, they're giving you more of what you want. Not what you say you want, what you show that you want.
Yes. Not based on your thoughts, based on your actions. And so many people get mad because they reap what they've sown, but you did it.
Oh, you mean that scripture is true? It's like a real script. I mean, like it really means something. Like you reap what you sow. Like I sold something and I got something based upon what I did. Not what I thought I was going. Not what I thought I should. I sold this, but I think I should get this. So God, you must be wrong.
Man. And you can always, so I have a course called Class Changers, brother, that I've been procrastinating to put together.
Honesty, best policy. Okay.
Because I knew it was going to challenge me beyond the foundation. And I think one of the reasons we get stuck on money is because it's tangible and countable, and it can mask all of the other stuff that we are procrastinating to do. You know? And I was like, oh, let me get this done. Because it's amazing what happens when you set your mind right, when you set yourself up for success. It's amazing, brother. It's amazing how God puts his super on your natural. And if your natural has been crap, then he's gonna put his super on your crap. And I don't want that no more. I don't want that no more. Yeah. So it's been interesting, brother. It's really been interesting.
So share with us just a little bit, man. You use this term, set yourself up for success.
So when you're driving and the sign comes up and says dead end, you're not supposed to keep going. And sometimes what we do is we put ourselves in the position for a natural result that we don't like. If all of my friends are broke, then when I start a high-level business, my broke friends won't support. Because their mindset is only on survival and today. And it took me years to break away from that mindset, which has made 2020 the best year of my life. But it didn't happen because I did it on December 29th. And so we set ourselves up because we're pointed in a direction and we keep going. And I have just been consistent about making my stuff valuable. I've been more consistent about not giving my value away.
Not giving your value. In other words, you're saying, it sounds like you're saying, you put together high level stuff and you realize you have to stop targeting low level people. Now, if low level people want to come up,
I love it.
Great. But can't be my target. Because they don't want me to bring my high level stuff down. They're going to want me to settle down my high level stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we've seen this or heard. I believe it's one about a pearl in a pig's snout, something like that, where valuable things are within are attached to unvaluable character, maybe something like that.
Pearls, don't give your pearls to the swine. Because pigs don't value pearls. They don't. So why would you give a pig a pearl? It's like giving a 12-year-old kid a Bentley. They're not even trained to use that. And that's why I use the language of the amateur versus the grandmaster. That grandmaster is somebody who's been studying for 30, 40, 50 years. Go back to Karate Kid with Daniel's son and oh my God, I just showed my age.
Yeah.
Right, and Mr. Miyagi. You could never expect Daniel's son, when he first started with Mr. Miyagi, to go take care of what Mr. Miyagi could take care of. He doesn't have the skill. He's still wet behind the ears. Yeah, so that's what's made 2020 so good. I've put these changes in place. And 2020 really got good when the change went from in here to here. So it was no longer I think, I feel, I want. It was I believe, and I am pushing for the results I want.
Going from I think, I feel to I do. Now this is a Monday. No. This is a Saturday thought that I put out to people. I said, and I asked this question: what will happen in your life when? What will happen in your life when the work catches up with your faith? And the reason why I asked that question, because I believe she's here, but I'm not going to call her name out, is I was talking to one of my virtual students now, and I was saying to him, everything that you're saying is true. Yes, you do believe. But we're past that at this point. we no longer need to talk about, or validate. I mean, you can always confirm your faith, but we don't really need to talk about what you believe anymore. What we need to be talking about at this point is what you're going to do.
Works
with your belief.
Yeah.
You know, and that step to, I know what I should do. I know it's good for me to do it. I know it's time for me to do it. To I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It moves you from no longer being the procrastinator. And that is a space that you have to elevate, you have to conquer for yourself.
And you can always tell the degree to which somebody has conquered it by the degree of their results.
I don't know about that one.
I'm not talking about short term.
Okay.
In network marketing taught me the term lifestyle. They said God has given everybody life, but style is how you choose to live it. It's a big picture thing.
Oh, you gotta repeat that again. The people in the back didn't hear you.
God has given everybody life, but style is how you choose to live it. And so the life, remember that show, The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous? They got there. It was their lifestyle because that's what they had been doing for so long that produced the life that we saw in a snapshot. And so many times we're trying to get in the snapshot, we're trying to get the snapshot with a snapshot of work. You can't become president of the United States with a 1-week campaign. You just can't. The level of success most people want doesn't come from a moment of work. And so
the people in the back just knocked on the door and said, "Can you say that again?" Because they was busy. In the back, normally all the paper shuffling. They said, "Can you say that again?"
You can't get there in a week, brother. Any real goal, you can't get it knocked out in a week, like a real one, and that's why I look at 2020 with such amazement, because I see 2020 is the manifestation of what I started in 2004.
And let me break this down for you guys as well. This is very, very, very powerful. He said you can't, really accomplish, your big goals in a week, and that's okay. But you can finish some steps.
Make progress.
Now understand that you have, and this is, I forget where it's a chart that talks about, you break your dreams down into goals, and then you take your goals and you turn them into steps. And then now it's easier to walk into your reality. And those steps that you take that get you through to the next goal that you accomplish, that is what we call progress.
Yes. Jim Rohn says that. And measurable progress.
Measurable progress. And Earl Nightingale says success is the progressive realization of a working ideal. So we have the quotes, and we have the books, and we have the knowledge, and we have the access, but there's certain things you just can't teach.
Nope.
We can talk all day, Brother Weatherby, but at the end of the day, every individual has to make up for themselves that they're going to do what they know they should do when they should do it. We blew to the face. Matter of fact, it said, Marcus Aurelius, I put this up the other day, right? It said, man, you could get as angry as you want to be, but at the end of the day, men are still going to do what men do.
And you can't change that. Man, I tell parents all the time, once your child has found his or her will, all you can do is set the environment up for them to choose what's best. That's what God does to us. I don't have a memory in my life where God has come down from heaven, grabbed me by my collar, and forced me to do what I had no desire to do. But conditions were created to get me to move on, to change, to do better. Men are going to do what they're going to do. And once you know and accept that, you can use that to benefit you.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation right there. Ooh, you know, I like talking about that. That's called capitalization.
All day long, brother. All day long.
And what's going on, Matt, man? Yeah, we did. This is what we do, man. Hey, he said these are some of the best gems I've ever heard, man. Hey, appreciate the support, man. Catch up on these comments, man. Mr. Phyllis George is in the house. Stop means stop, right? That's right, man. Casting pearls before the swine. Still a young grasshopper. What's going on, man? It's a process, right? Hey, it said manifestation takes time. Manifestation takes time, right? You may not, you may not be able to change your destination, right, overnight, but you can change direction overnight.
All the time.
You can change direction overnight. You was going this way, you decide that no, I'm done, and you turn the corner. Yeah, I'm done procrastinating. Okay, this is what I need to do. I wrote that thing down. Here's a list of to-do stuff. It's a priority list. Yesterday, I only got one thing done. Today, I got 3 things done. Mm-hmm. Progress.
Look, let me show you something. I'm going to put my camera down for a second. Because the only way you can make measurable progress is you got to have stuff that's measurable. And so what I just showed is my checklist that I run down every day to help me to master my own spirit of procrastination.
Mastering your own spirit of procrastination. Very interesting, man. Right on time with the book and where we are with meeting the goddess of good luck, and how these stories, which are still relevant 100 years later to us today. Man, here today on Better Life Tuesday, Money and Power show, man. Glad to be back having these sessions, having these great dialogues. Real people having real conversations as we talk about money, power, and development. What's your last words for the people of today, brother doctor? The doctor is in the house here on Better Life Tuesday.
So I started off saying that money is a mask, but money's also a mirror. If the money doesn't look like what you want it to look like, then it's telling you something is off somewhere. It's your job to go find out what it is. Stop waiting on God to come down from heaven, pick you up, and put you where you could be, where you can go on your own. He's giving you everything that you need. It's time to do. Faith without works is dead. Faith's natural consequence is works. If you really believe, then we should see you doing. If you don't really believe, you only know. It's time for some work. I'll leave you all with this. I was at a conference. I'm so grateful. Network marketing is my foundation in business. And my rich dad was talking about how he had all this success. And he said, you know what? It's time to put my dirty clothes back on and get to it. And that's what I want us to do. Put your dirty clothes back on. Let's roll up them sleeves and let's get to work. Why? Because when life seems to be pretty good, a better life is always best. Let's get to work, y'all.
It is the season for the doers. It's time to do. I'm gonna come back to this as we had the statement earlier. You know what you need to do. grown man, grown woman, things on your checklist, things that you've been putting off. This spirit of procrastination permeates our society, especially our community. You know what that is, right? Identify it, and just you have to decide that you are going to get it done. Now, what does that require sometimes? It requires saying, you know what? I might not necessarily enjoy myself for the next 3 hours, but you're going to feel a whole lot better when you get done in an hour and a half. And now you got another hour to go out and go and play. But if you keep playing, right? I think what it says, you work hard, play hard. Well, some of us are not working hard, but we're playing hard. That's not a good balance. Not working hard, but you're playing hard. That's not a good balance. Right?
And you better work hard first. You can't play hard if you ain't worked hard first. I'm sorry, you shouldn't. Because then you realize after you get done playing, you got so much more work to do. Get the work done first.
Because every day it's a cycle of new land to conquer. Right? I did boom, boom, boom. Like so, for example, brother, last night, man, I finished all my packaging. I was like, yes, done, boom, bam. But guess what? There are gonna be some more orders that come in today. You ever see American History X? All right, so Joe Torre's little brother, something Torre, he in that movie with another guy. Anyway, they in jail. And the new person in jail, they're on duty to fold the sheets wherever they are in the fold sheet. And the new guy, like, just angry, got caught in jail, don't want to be there. So he just boom, he just flip. He's been going at it with them sheets. And the dude that been there for a while, like, listen, man, slow down, right? They gonna keep bringing them in and bringing them in and bringing them in. They ain't gonna stop. Pace yourself. And that's my time. That's my last words for you here today. As you think about the things that you need to do or accomplish, the things that you might be procrastinating on. You might be procrastinating because you think it's such a big task. Mm-hmm. Pace yourself. Pace yourself unto completion. Unto completion. And just know when you complete, they're going to keep bringing them in because there's going to be more orders coming in, which is a good thing. Because if we didn't have orders, we didn't have stuff to do, that's what leads to, stuff we shouldn't do. Idleness is the devil's playground, isn't it?
Yes.
Man, this is the Money and Power Show, New Black Wall Street, guys. I want to thank Dr. Weathersby for bringing us with us here again on Better Life Tuesday. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need.
Yes, sir.
And thank God. That's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.